Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for clicking. So today's tutorial is going to be how to make these cute nice bralette. So I had already done a video on how to make the Sunburst granny squares. You can check the link down on my description box. So for this tutorial I'm just going to show you how to make the X stitches and the bra cup and the straps and then the ripples on the bra cups. So to start off, we're going to start with the bra cups. My client's bust size is 40, so you have to take your bust size, then divide your bust size by 4. So whatever you'll get is what the length of the bra should stretch to. Like, let's say the width of the bra should stretch to a quarter of your bust size. So as for me, without stretching, my bra cup is about 9 inches, and then when I stretch it, it will stretch to around 10 to 11 inches. So I'm confident enough that my bra cups will fit my client. So to get into it, we're going to need a different strand of yarn, a different color, just to help me mark the center of the bra cup. I'll show you where it will be useful. Then I'll need a 3mm hook and yarn. My yarn is lightweight yarn, like it's extra thin, so I'm going to be doubling it, but medium weight can work just fine. So we'll start by making a slip knot, then chain 15. So for a D cup I normally chain 15, then for a C cup I chain 14, and for a B cup I chain 12, and for a A cup, which small size, I chain 10. So after chaining 15, I'll go into the second chain from hook and make a single crochet. I'll continue with single crochet till the end of the chain. So I've gotten to the end of the chain, and for my row 2 I'm just simply going to turn. No chain 1 for turning chain. I find it neat when I don't chain 1. So after turning, I'm just going into the first stitch with a single crochet. This will apply for all bra cup sizes, so simply continue with single crochet till the end of the row. When you get to the end of the row, so this is the point where we are going to do an increase, I'll go into the middle of that first stitch that I had made while turning and do 3 single crochets. So this will apply to all bra cup sizes, and after making 3 single crochets, I'll take my other strand of yarn which is of a different color, or take your stitch marker and mark the second and pull it through the second single crochet. So that will mark my middle section, and that is the point where the increase will happen for the next row. Then continue with single crochet on the other side till the end of the row. Make sure to go into all the stitches, and the last stitch just do a single crochet, then simply flip your work. So I've started measuring and it's already 3 inches, so I'm supposed to do an increase till it gets to 10 or 9 inches. So I'm not going to chain one. So for this project I'll not be chaining one for a turning chain. I'm simply flipping my work and going into the first stitch with a single crochet and continuing with single crochet till I get to my stitch marker. When I get to my stitch marker, I'm going to do the same thing. I'll go into the stitch with 3 single crochets, then remember to slide in your hook into the second single crochet and pull through your stitch marker, and continue the row with single crochets till the end. Then don't forget to go into the last stitch. For you to have a straight edge at the bottom, you have to go through the last stitch, then don't chain one. Simply flip your work and go into the first stitch with a single crochet. So that is the row that you're going to repeat. I'll just chain till I get to the top, because we are working vertically. When I get to the top, I'm going to repeat the same thing. Do 3 single crochet where I'd placed my stitch marker. That's 1, and then 2 and 3. Without going any further, I slide in my hook into the second single crochet and pull through my stitch marker. So as you can see, this one works easier for me compared to replacing stitch marker, the original stitch marker. So this one works easy because it allows me to just slide in and continue with my hook. I don't have to put my hook down. So as you can see, I just did a repetition of row 2, and that is of row 3, and that is what I'm going to do for the rest of my work. So I did, for a decap, I did a total of 20 rows, and you can just put the bracket against your bust in order to see if it fits nicely. So you realize that this cup measures the same from the top to the bottom. It's 9, and the width it's also 9. This means you can wear it vertically or horizontally. For the next part of our tutorial, after making the sunny bust squares, I'm going to show you how I joined them. I have one left that I'll use for this tutorial, but in my other video I have various methods on how to join your sunny bust. So for this tutorial I'm going to use a darning needle. You can notice that in the other video I had used a crochet hook. So for the darning needle, you're just going to insert your yarn and check which side you prefer to be on the top, then put it against the other side by side. Then you're going to simply go into the middle chain, that is the second chain that you are doing at the corner, and insert our hook and just attach the yarn to the granny square and secure it. Then go into the other one and do the same. Insert your darning needle. Then I'm going to go into the next stitch and just pull through. Sorry, I was a bit out of frame, but that's not a big deal. The big deal will be on my third stitch, where I'll be going into the front loop, and then for the other granny square I'll go into the back loop. As you can see, I'm going into the back loop. Then the front loop of the square that is on my left, then back loop for the other square. So that will be the pattern: front loop on this side and then back loop on the other side. And I'll show you how it will appear when I'm done. So you can just use any other method to connect your granny squares, the one you deem fit. But for me this one was the best, and it's easier and fast to work with. As you can see, it's coming out nicely. So I'm going to continue, and I'll see you when I'm done. So this is how it turned out. As you can see, it's so neat and nice. Remember, you can use any side because the granny square, the both sides are neat. So whichever side you decide on putting as your front side, it's okay. So this will be my right side, and I'm going to connect my cups to the granny square. I'm just trying to fit them in a way that they're both centrally placed. So I did a total of 6 granny squares for my client's waist size 36. So whatever your waist size is, just consider that you'll have to have a bare back. So whenever you're doing your granny squares, I advise that you do a number that will fit nicely enough to leave you a space to insert your strap at the back, and make sure that you have X. So for my client, the total length of my granny squares were about 26 inches. So that means I still have 10 inches for the bare back. As you can see, I've already placed my granny square centrally placed. So this is the center, and I'm starting to connect to knit my back up to the granny square in the middle, and each stitch is being connected to a row in the granny square. Just find a suitable means to connect your bra cup to your granny square, and ensure you secure all the leftover yarn that you might come across, so that it will give you an easy work when you're cleaning up. So I'm just going to finish up on connecting my bra cup. So this is the wrong side, and I'm starting from the middle. So I've gotten to the end. I'm just trying to secure my yarn. So as you can see, it's so neat, and then you can see that the line is centrally placed. So whatever I'm trying to do here, I'm just securing yarn that was not secured nicely while I was working my way. Then cut off any unnecessary yarn. So that is what I did for the first bra cup, and then you can see it's well aligned to the center of my bra cup. It's not a must that it's nicely aligned, but anyway, it's just for neatness and for your work to look unique, and it's like calculated, you see. I calculated the number of stitches on my granny square and the number of rows, and that's it. Whatever I did on this other bra cup is what I am doing on the other one. Remember to start on the middle so you cannot challenge yourself. Now we are going for the third part of this tutorial. We are going to do the X stitches. Simply connect your yarn to the lower part of your work and chain 3, then go into the next stitch and do a double crochet. So the first chain 3 will count as a double crochet, then I'll do another double crochet. So now this is where the X stitches will start forming. I'm going to skip the next stitch, this stitch right here, and go into the next one and do a double crochet. After doing the double crochet, I'll go back into the stitch that I had skipped and do a double crochet. So that is how I form an X stitch. So I'm just going to repeat that again. Skip the next stitch and go into the next one, do a double crochet, go back and do a double crochet, skip the next stitch, going to the next one, do a double crochet, then go back into the stitch that you had skipped and do a double crochet. So that's it for this part. You'll just do that till you have 2 stitches to the end. So for these X stitches, I have a matching skirt to this top, so I wanted something that will match with the skirt. The skirt I had I had made the skirt using a tutorial from AC Crochets, and she is the one who actually taught me how to do the X stitches. So this video, or this part of the video, is inspired by the skirt that I made from her tutorial. You can see the stitches are forming nicely. I'll meet you at the end. So that is how we do our X stitches. For the last 2 stitches, I'm simply going to do double crochets. Then chain 3. This chain 3 will count as my first double crochet. Then go into the next stitch and do a double crochet. So after that, I'm just going to do a repetition of the first row. I'm going to do X stitches. So for this part, I'll do X stitches on top of an X stitch. Just keep a stitch, do a double crochet, then go back into the stitch that you had skipped and do a double crochet. So simply do that till you have 2 stitches to the end. It's as simple as that. As you can see, the pattern is coming out nicely. So I've gotten to the end and I'm going to do 2 double crochet, just to make sure that I have a straight edge. So now that I'm done with my X stitches, I only did 2 rows. You can do 3 or 4 to make it longer, but I'm going to work on my sides. So for the sides, I'm going to chain 1, then do a single crochet, chain 2, then skip till you are in the next row and do 2 single crochets in the next row, chain 2, skip that row and go into the next stitch and perform 2 single crochets. So those are the holes that the straps will go through. Chain 2, skip 2 stitches, then do single crochets in the next 2 stitches. So that is the repetition that I'll do till the end of this part, and see you when I get there. Make sure to go into the last line just to ensure that this part is a bit straight. So for this part, I'm going to do the ripples, and for the ripples I just wanted to work with 1 strand, but you can continue with 2 strands or your medium weight yarn. It's just that I find working with 1 strand easier and it makes the look a bit nicer. So I'm going to do single crochets, 5 of them. Then after 5 single crochets, I chain up 5, then go into the bottom of my chain and do a slip stitch. So 5 single crochets for the next 5 stitches, chain up 5, then go into the bottom of the chain and do a slip stitch. So that is what I'm simply doing. So when I get to this part where the bra cups was joined, I continue with my single crochets, my pattern. Chain up 5, then do a slip stitch, then 5 single crochets, so I'll do it till I get to the top. So when I get to the top, I'll do something a bit different. I'm going to do 3 single crochets at the top of my bra cup, just to ensure that my bra cup won't bend, or to ensure that there is consistency in the pattern that I had worked with. So after the 3 single crochets at the peak, you just continue with the pattern of ripples and make. So I'll just continue with what I was doing, and I'll meet you when I get at the bottom of my bra cup. So when I get to the bottom, I want to go into that stitch down there. I'll simply go to the next bra cup and do my 5 single crochets. I'll just continue with 5 single crochets, then chain up 5, then do a slip stitch at the bottom of the chain. So whatever I did on this other bra cup is what I'll do on this other side. See you when I get to the end. Don't forget to place 3 single crochets at the top of your bra cup. So for this part, I'm just going to show you how I normally do my straps. After attaching the strap, I chain up 5 or 6. Yeah, I chained up 6. Then go into the 3rd chain from your hook and do a double crochet. Yeah, that's it. Chain up 6, then go into the 3rd chain from hook and do a double crochet. So chain that till you have a very long strap of about 180 to 100 inches. And that will be it for our tutorial today. Thank you so much for clicking this video, and don't forget to subscribe and like. Bye.